last recipe today is going to showcase and remind us that even though we're dealing with fruits, we still have to be careful with food poisoning, and we want to make sure we're washing our fruits really well. So we're going to be adding some berries to the lemon cake, and if you're bringing the berries with you to the picnic, you can either pre-wash them, but that might not be what you want to do. But you want to make sure you bring some potable water or some drinking water that you can use to wash that, and also some soap. And the soap is not for the fruits; it's for your hands. So you want to make sure that you're washing your hands properly before you're handling anything. And you want to make sure that you're washing the fruits well before you add it to the dessert. And then you get to enjoy the health protective compounds that come with the beautiful berries. I don't know, are you using strawberries and blueberries or blackberry?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, one of my favorites. All right, so yes, dessert. Outdoors, dessert at picnics, dessert camping, not as many options, I guess. But I think I love that idea of being able to bring some of that fruit. And like Danielle mentioned, it is easier if you pre-wash them. But what we're going to do here is we're going to make this is a very classic Southern Italian dessert or cake where it's an olive oil cake. So we're making a lemon olive oil cake where the olive oil is essentially subbing in for the butter. So I mean, it's a little easier now, obviously, but yeah, I guess back in the day it would be a little harder for some of the regions to have access to butter. And so olive oil was obviously, much more accessible. And so that would be the fat source for a lot of these desserts. I love it. I think it's fantastic. The olive oil and the lemon together works really, really well. And so we're going to make this nice little cake that we're going to transport with us to our outdoor gathering. You can, and I've done this in a pinch as well, you can even buy those little angel food cakes. They're already made, already done. Wash your fruit, and then just top it when you get there as well, which makes it a lot easier. But if you did want to make this recipe, then just follow along. So start with our dry. We have 1 3/4 cups flour. You can sift the flour if you have a little extra time. That little extra step just going to make it a little bit lighter, a little bit fluffier, less clumps. And I'm going to mix in 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So that's our leavening, and that's our dry. So pretty simple. For our wet ingredients, we are starting off with 2 eggs. One whip. 2 eggs. I always crack my eggs on a flat surface. I don't know if you noticed that. It just helps prevent any of the shells from going in. Okay, so we'll whisk those eggs up. And then I'm going to add my fat source, so olive oil. So we're adding about 1/2 cup of olive oil here. If you like the olive oil taste, like the taste of olive oil, you can definitely use one that has a stronger flavor. If you're not a big fan, or you kind of maybe scared to have like an olive oil in dessert taste, you can definitely use a milder oil there. And then I'm going to add my yogurt. So we're adding 1 full cup of plain yogurt. Again, here's an opportunity, I guess, if you want to try to get some more protein in yellow, we can use like a higher protein yogurt there.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You can find protein yogurts now. They're up to 17 grams of protein for serving. Or would you be able to also use this skyr? I saw you used it earlier. That also has a bigger amount of protein than even the Greek yogurt. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Here we're using the skyr, but yeah, the Greek would work as well. All right, and we're using a whisk. If you have a hand mixer, that will work as well. And sort of beating it with the oil to try to get a little bit of air into it. Just gonna make it a little bit fluffier. And then for our lemon contribution, I already did this in advance. We're going to add a 1/4 cup of lemon juice and a nice tablespoon of zest. Take all the zest off that lemon. I'm going to save some maybe for the end, but I'm going to get maybe a big tablespoon. If you like more lemon, add more. I love lemon, so that's a big one there. And then just to sweeten it up a little bit, I'm adding some honey here. You can add, I guess, your sweetener of choice, and you're in control, right? So I'm adding about maybe about 1/2 cup for this whole cake of honey.
And since we're talking about food safety, just want to remind people that it's best to use the pasteurized honey. I know a lot of people want to get the raw honey, but if you're immune suppressed or your immune system's low, it's always better to use the pasteurized.
Absolutely. Okay, and then I'm going to add my flour, my dry ingredients. So this is the flour and the baking powder. Just a little bit at a time. And use a bigger bowl. I ran out of bowls, so I'm using like a much smaller bowl than I probably should have.
Oh, you know what I forgot to say with the previous recipe, and I'll say it now. Father's Day is around the corner, and I'm not suggesting that outdoor cooking is what mostly men do in the family, but maybe a digital thermometer might be something nice to sneak into that gift for Dad
Nice.
on Father's Day.
Love it.
And for Jeremy, maybe some bigger bowls.
Yes, some bigger bowls. Yeah. All right. Mix until combined. Don't want to go too crazy. Don't want to over mix too much. There's our batter, and we have our little spring form here. Go for like an 8-inch-ish. Like an 8 or 9-inch spring form. This one is actually, it's a little smaller. I think it's a 7, but if you have a smaller one, it'll just be a little thicker, which is fine. It just might take a little bit longer to cook. So we're going to cook this, and if you need to grease it as well, I put a little bit of parchment actually on the bottom, which will help. And what you can do actually for the sides, this one is fairly new, so shouldn't need it, but we'll use a little bit of that olive oil. Just rub it on the sides, and then we'll go in with our batter. Now this is going to cook at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 50 minutes. You can tell if you stick a toothpick in the middle, and it should come out clean. Okay, so it might take if it takes a little bit longer. You don't want the batter to still be wet. You want it to come out nice and clean. Okay, so ready to go in the oven, 350 degrees. And when it's done, let it cool, take it out. And whoa, that was fast. All right.
Beautiful. It looks so yummy. I wish I was there.
So this is, if you have one of these racks, it just helps it to cool a little bit faster. If you don't, no worries. You can just put it on a plate. And I'm going to just put it onto the cutting board. And get my knife, just cut a slice. Now, like Daniela mentioned, sorry, I may back to you, but like Daniela mentioned, for the berries, or any of the fruits if you want to add it as a topping. So make sure you do wash them very well. So get a slice. And this, if you're taking it with you, sorry.
You read my mind. You read my mind. It was exactly what I was going to ask. Beautiful.
There we go. And yeah, if you're gonna take it with you, pre-slice it. Have it all ready to go. That way you don't have to fuss around. You don't have to worry about getting your knife out. You can kind of pre-slice it, put it back together, and I would wrap it maybe in like an aluminum foil, and then into your cooler. So there's our slice. And to finish it, our berries. So we're using, this is where we get a little fancy, right? And you can use any berries. We've got some nice blackberries here. And that there to show you. We're going to add maybe some of that, if I have some of that lemon zest. Put some of that lemon zest in there. Now what goes really well with olive oil, use some fresh basil. Why not? We're already breaking the rules. I'm just going to, and I'm not going to really chop it. I'm just going to tear it up a little bit. If I have big leaves, I'll tear it a little bit smaller. Then the small leaves I can kind of leave as is. Now it might seem a little bit weird, but soft herbs like mint, like basil, even cilantro, like they will pair really nicely with fresh fruit. The sweetness really works well. All right, so we have some fresh basil, and then we have a little bit of that honey left. I'm just gonna go just a small, we don't need much, small little drizzle of that honey, and then yes, a small little drizzle of my olive oil. Let's go with my olive oil cake. So it's almost like you're making almost like a little salad here. And spoon.
All I can think about are the dark colors of the berries, right? Like the blackberries, or if you're using strawberries or blueberries, and the phytonutrient. I guess because I'm that dietitian geek, it's called anthocyanins. So we talk about the phytonutrient being connected to the color, and the color, the blue, red, purple, black, is anthocyanins, and it's known to have some properties for reducing cancer risk, heart health, eye health. So definite go-to for summer cooking.
Okay. Some little mix on top, and you got so excited for the cake, flew off your chair.
I fell off my chair. No, you popped out the earphones. They popped out. It looks gorgeous. It looks gorgeous. Enjoy that for me. And what a sweet way to end the day. And eating more fruits and vegetables is important for cancer prevention. Having more plant proteins is important with the chickpeas. And we can't forget summer safety, right? We want to enjoy the summer as much as possible. So thank you, Jeremy, for some wonderful, wonderful recipes today.
Oh, it's a pleasure, as always. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Hope you enjoy the recipes and